Med student Natsha Demkina was just another lady in the eyes of many until she convinced herself that she could see disease with her X-ray vision. Even if some bugs could see UV light and that human fingers and cells emit weak UV light, this is what Natasha might see if this was true. This would be the best explanation of the mechanism I can think of, but of course not everyone was convinced back in 2004. If she could emit X-rays and develop a picture of the environment like a bat with sonar, then this might have helped scientists if this was true. She said back in 2004, if I need to examine a particular organ, I focus more closely on this organ. I can see all the processes at work, for example, circulation of the blood or respiration. There is inside us a spectrum of such bright colors, you could only perhaps compare it to the sunset. Most would believe, as do I, that she takes educated guesses. Even when she was tested in Japan for identifying a dog's artificial implant, she insisted on not being blindfolded, leaving me to think the Professor Utonium did not create her out of an accident. As of 2020, she still keeps a private practice and remains private. Alright, so what did this NASA physicist Barbara Brennan have for healing the world? She claimed she could see layers apparently of the human body to detect diseases. Well, for all her books and framework for healing, I would think that she could have spent more time having someone test these things and spent less time writing her books. Maybe she's the Shakespeare of Reiki healers and her books inspire many, but the evidence is still a miss. Yes, Mayor, what did you say? A teen lifted a burning truck off her dad? Yes, you heard that right. Charlotte Hevelmeyer lifted a GMC truck that slipped off the jack and the garage caught fire from spilled gasoline. She lifted the truck enough for him to escape proving she would mop the floor with mojo. Usually your brain caps the amount of force your muscles can generate to avoid ripping tendons from bones. But in a life or death situation, those neural brakes get released and Fuzzy Lumpkins is thrown across the town. In dire situations, people bend steel bars to escape, and mothers lift 2 or more tons of automobile. You would think athletes could tap into the system more often than average, but rarely do they hurl cars at the opposite team. Of course, the flip side of this is evil can tap into this too from anger, illness, or intoxication. In terms of the mind's abilities, you could get a boost too. If you really have to go to the bathroom in a new place without knowing where the toilet is, you will find yourself with highly attuned spatial reasoning, just like a point guard with less than a second on the clock. So what I'm getting at is if a hero can safely test this ability, then they don't need Chemical X as much as they think they might. In the police shooting performance study, some perform better under pressure depending on their personality. Maybe one easy step toward mental resilience is to sleep while standing up like this monk practices. At some point, you'll be twisting metal bars with your throat in the time of need.
I still haven't went to the bathroom! They won't let me be myself.